Hi, this is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Washington State, and I welcome you to my weekly free video and blog where I focus on and feature certain products from the current catalogs. So today I am looking at the new annual catalog. When you view this, it will have, I believe, have gone live, and you'll be able to order from it. But as I'm making it, that's not the case because I'm making this in April because I'm allowed to get pre-orders as a demonstrator. I'm allowed to get pre-orders so that I can be prepared to share with my customers. So the set I am going to be featuring today is called Inspired Thoughts Bundle. It comes with the stamps of different sentiments. And then the bundle also comes with the dies for these trees. And so let me show you what I was going to make today. This is on page 52 of your catalog, and the dies you can see in more detail on page 160. Okay, let me show you what I started out doing. I tried to use the Pearl Essence specialty paper that is carried over and is in the annual catalog. It carried over from the current mini catalog, and I inked it and everything, but then when I tried to attach this, it became difficult. I tried it with double-sided adhesive first and it wouldn't stick. Then I tried it with my Zig 2-way glue pen and it wouldn't stick. So I ended up, to get it to stick to this pearlescent paper, which has this sheen to it, I ended up using my Crystal Effects and just putting little tiny bits of it on the backs of the branches and the tree stems, tree trunks, and that it finally stuck. But the pearlescent paper has a unique issue. Ink doesn't dry as fast. It will dry on it, but it dries much slower, so you have to be aware of that. And then obviously it's a little bit difficult to stick things to. So glue dots probably work really well, but I had some trouble. So I decided to switch out and try something different. And I decided to just go with the plain basic white. And this is my finished card that I'm going to share with you today. And I ended up just using regular basic white cardstock. So I started with basic white thick, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I cut a piece of Night of Navy, and I wanted the entire front covered, so I cut it at 4 1/4 by 5.5 and used the Stamp and Seal adhesive and attached it to the front of the card. So that's the base card, and it's just a standard A2 base card. Then my white piece is cut 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to bring in some backing here so I can color it, and I used the blending brushes. And the colors I am using are Misty Moonlight, Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss, and Bumblebee. And Bumblebee is for my moon. And I have I punched out a circle out of just regular copy paper, and I put double-sided adhesive, my removable, I should say, removable adhesive on the back, so it will stick down really well. It might need a little bit of new adhesive. Let me do that. So this is the Tombow removable adhesive, and you've seen me use this before, and I use it quite a bit to hold things in place, especially masks when we're doing masking, which is what this is going to be. And my husband and I have been sitting outside in the evenings. It's been warmer here lately, and we've been watching the stars come out, and the moon was just a sliver of a moon. So I decided that my picture needed a sliver of a moon, not a full moon. And I'm going to just kind of test it here and see. I don't want to hide it too much. I want it to stand out just a little bit. So let me get that off of there. And be careful with it. There we go. Kind of decide where I want it, because I'm going to put this even with the bottom when I finally attach it. So I think I want my moon peeking out from, whoopsie, peeking out from behind that tree just a little bit. So I'm going to put it up a little bit higher. So that's going to mask off that spot so it doesn't get color on it until I'm ready for it. Then, like I say, I used my blending brushes, and since I've already used them once, I'm going to make sure I use the right ones. Okay, so I started with the Misty Moonlight, and I just started brushing some color onto the top portion of this piece. And you can add as much or as little as you want. Make your background as light or as dark as you want it. Then I switched to Night of Navy, and I added some darker streaks. Going into the lighter ones there. And then I brought in some Blackberry Bliss. Not very good at holding on to that. Some Blackberry Bliss. And put some right up into the blue and some down lower. And you know, that is just perfect. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Okay, now I'm going to pick up that piece of moon that I had there, my little mask. And you're going to see that it's still white there. And then I only want to color that, and I could just color it with a marker or something, and that would be okay. But I'm going to take the rest of that circle that I cut that sliver off of, and I'm going to cover up around it like this, just inside that little curve. Well, this is the side I cut it from, so I guess I could use that. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring in the stamp. This is the moon stamp from Mountain Air. And it has a little bit of texture to it and stuff. And I'm going to bring that in. And I am going to stamp, turn this so I can see it better. And I'm going to stamp so that I stamp that quarter moon, but the bulk of it will go onto this. I got a little bit of a white spot down there, so I'm going to touch that up just like that. And then I can pull this up and get it out of my way somewhere. Just like that. And then I came back with the blue, and I just went over it just a little bit. And it looks okay. I'm happy with that. It's going to be okay. Then I also used the mountains from the Mountain Air stamp set and the Night of Navy. And I'm going to stamp that mountain scene on there. And I want it to be, you can see I kind of up from the bottom just a little bit, kind of in the pink a bit going into the blue. So about that high right there. And there's those beautiful mountains. Now I cut this out again with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and I used double-sided adhesive on the back of it for this card this time because it will stick to the basic white without any trouble at all. So I've already cleaned it up, and I'm ready to peel it off and stick it down. And so we will do that. Get that edging picked up and gently pull it off. There ought to be something we could do with that. Okay, and then I'm just going to stick it to the bottom. Now the main thing I want to do is keep the trees on the card itself, and then I want to line the bottom up. So there we go. And there's this little bit of overhang here that we're just going to trim off with a pair of scissors. Just like that. Get that out of here. Okay, so there is the basic card. Get those stuck to me. There we go. Get that stuck down. And so the mountains kind of show up behind, like they're behind the trees. And then I took the sentiment, Peace, Love, and Joy, also from, what set did I get this from? Yeah, from the Inspired Thoughts. It's in there. Okay, so Peace, Love, and Joy is in the Inspired Thoughts, and I used the Night of Navy because it's a nice and dark color. You could use black as well, and it fits perfect right here in this section, just like that. And so there is my art piece for the card. And then I'm going to attach it to the front of the card with dimensionals as soon as I can put my hands on them. In my drawer right here. And so we will get those up here. And I'll have a mess on my table when I'm done because I'm just going to take it, throw those off to the side. And I always have a major cleanup after a video because if you could see my desk, you'd just see how messy it really is. But that's okay. Creativity can be messy. Then this goes on, because it's 1/4 of an inch smaller, it goes on with 1/8 of an inch border all the way around, raised up. And there is today's free current catalog video for today using the Inspired Thoughts bundle from page 52 of the new annual catalog. Hope you enjoyed stopping by. Hope that if you don't have a demonstrator, you will consider shopping with me at my online store. The link is below in the description. And leave me a comment. I love to hear from you. Thanks for stopping by.